short definition, misleading someone into doubting reality. So,
Delusion.
misleading someone thinking they cooked the rice is to be gaslit.
Oh! But have you ever been gaslit?
What's up, Pandeez?
You're listening to the Pandesoul podcast.
Join us as we unpack the flavors of being Filipino
And American. We're your hosts, Dremagix, the Fictitious Professor, and EJ Filipino.
And we hope you're hungry.
Because there's plenty to go around. What's up, Pandeez? Welcome back to another episode of the Pandesoul podcast, the best podcast on the internet, the Finger Gun podcast, Peach Mango Thighs, Ben Pineapple Apple podcast. What else?
That's it. Gangster and prankster.
Gangster and prankster.
Gago and pangit.
Lipadcast.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, a movecast?
I'm flying. Lipad.
Oh, is that what lipad means?
Yeah, lipad. No, that's lipat.
Lipat.
Lipadcast.
Yeah. Move. Anyway, this episode, we're going to talk about, gaslighting and just like straight up lying, right? But before we get into that, please go on all the social media things.
If you've been gaslit, follow us. Share.
Sample right now. No, before we get into
You're
it,
not
please
following us. Follow us. Go check.
Go on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok,
Friendster, Zanga, MySpace.
Lahat silog.
Facebook.
He's lying.
X.
Wow. He's dying.
Oh, X. Oh, I'll manage.
X.
I'll manage
TikTok.
X.
Treads.
Treads.
Facebook.
Bucket of fish. Photo bucket. That's the one.
Photo bucket.
Monkey in a barrel.
Just
What? Tangin ng barrel.
all the platforms we're on.
Hit all the buttons. Hit the comments. Do all the things.
r/Pandesoul.
Platform shoes.
Share with your friends. Share with your enemies. And share it with
Share it with people you're okay with.
Yeah. Those are all the three options.
Yeah.
Send it to your boss.
Oh.
Send it to your crush.
Ooh. We should do like custom videos.
You
Hey,
could.
Like a cameo.
they send
Is
you
that what?
this
Oh, that's
video.
what it is.
They send you this video because
Mm-hmm.
just the noises.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yes, we are your hosts for the podcast. I'm the Dremagix.
I'm Fictitious Professor.
And I'm the EJ Billion.
We're gonna get right into it. Not really right because it's been 5 minutes already. As a people, we've been gaslit like our entire lives.
Yeah, colonization.
Colonization, which translated into like parental pressure and parental guilt, which like evolved into us like lying to get out of shit.
Yeah.
is that
Dude, yeah.
triggers?
Yeah,
Is that
for
hitting
sure.
triggers?
Yeah.
It's such a fucked up circle, right?
Yeah.
So
Dude, it reminds me of that guy on TikTok, Kyle, where he does the videos of like the POV, your like overprotective Filipino mom.
Oh,
Kyle,
yeah.
you're going to fall. Don't do that.
Yeah.
picture muna, picture muna.
Dude, I'm so triggered every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's so relatable. I'm like, oh, God, that was my
It's pretty
childhood.
good. We should get that guy.
Picture muna.
I think he's in Toronto.
Oh.
Wow, this banana lumpia.
That's not lumpia. Toronto.
Toronto. Toronto, though.
Wow, everyone's thrown.
I was so thrown up.
You were so thrown up.
Nice.
Great. Yeah, like, what is the definition of gaslighting?
You have the internet.
I know, but I want to include you guys because
Gaslighting. Definition.
it's that place in
Verb.
San Diego, right?
It's when you use... That's the gas lamp.
Oh, okay.
It's when you use...
That's the most gaslit I've ever been. Was in Gaslamp District.
Right. Because it's everywhere.
But have you ever been gaslit?
How about Big Gaslit?
Oh.
Oh shit. That's okay, so real quick, gaslighting. Short definition, misleading someone into doubting reality. So
Delusion.
misleading someone thinking they cooked the rice is to be gaslit.
Oh.
Ma, it's there. You can't find it.
You look with your eyes, not
Yeah.
with your mouth.
Oh, dude, that is like such a big. I got that every week at least
Dude.
when
Yeah.
I was growing up.
Same.
And then I like the first time I talked back,
Yeah.
it's like, you have to look with your eyes, not with your mouth. I go, well, you have to point with your finger and not with your lips.
Dang.
I fucking
That's a
ran.
clap back.
I got
Yeah.
fucking beat that day.
That
Yeah.
was awesome. I wouldn't have been mad at all if my kids said that.
I know.
Also, that was a false story. So
You just gaslit us.
yeah,
Dang.
Damn.
dude, all of magic is gaslighting.
That's true.
That's all magicians do.
Yeah. It's
So-
like I'm not going to tell you a lie.
Yeah.
Everything I will say is true.
So is it like if you just make it fun, it's cool?
I,
Because people pay me money for me to gaslight them.
Right.
I
yeah,
guess being
that's
gaslit
true.
is okay then.
No, I'm sure there's like psychological harm being done
Yeah.
to qualify it as gaslighting.
Yeah. It's like a buy-in to a fantasy
Right.
entertainment.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
So bomba.
But it
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of.
But if you pay for it, that's gaslit. But if it's free,
You're
it's not-
paying somewhere else.
you're paying time.
if you're not paying
okay,
for it,
time also.
you're the product
Time and effort.
Wow.
instead of money.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You know, it's like playing tennis against the wall, man. Sometimes you can't find a partner.
Yeah.
That's a fortune cookie, dude.
when you mislead them to think that you're hard, that's the gaslight.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
What else?
Those are the only two ones.
Dang. Oh shit. I came up with another one, and this could like actually be in the FilAm dictionary.
Uh huh.
You know when your parents threaten you that they're gonna send you to the Philippines?
Yeah.
That's pinaslit.
Dang. Nice.
Wow.
When you claim that you have a Nintendo console, we got slit.
What? I see it. I see it.
God, Armstrong, that
I-
was a stretch.
Damn, Reed Richards.
I
think out of all the jokes that I've made on this podcast so far, that's the worst one.
and it's still like a little bit better than the best one.
Yeah.
The bottom of my barrel's really low, guys.
Yeah.
So are the okay? So I didn't know what gaslighting was as a term. It didn't come into like my hemisphere,
Your lexicon.
my lexicon, my zeitgeist until maybe a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
where it started to be like really popular. Is a fucked up way to say it, but more people were more knowledgeable, but also more accusatory
The-
of gaslighting people.
The awareness was there.
Awareness, is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
As more people went to therapy and learned what gaslighting meant,
Yeah.
yeah.
then
I
it started like seeping into normal conversation.
Yeah, I haven't heard that word. That wasn't in my lexicon until like probably this year, even like late last
Probably
year.
last year for me.
Yeah, I was like, what is this gaslight thing? And then like when you said that it was like leading people to fantasy or you know like believing something that's not real, like I guess I gaslighted my sister, my cousins, my mom, my dad all the time because I kept teasing them about just like creating stories about something that just like really minor stories.
Dude, yeah. I
sure.
I got
Right.
gaslit when I was a kid of I had a tito who told me like, "Oh, the ant is bigger than the elephant, okay?" So when they would ask me, "Which one's bigger, the ant or the elephant?" I'd be like, "The ant." Dude.
That's traumatizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really weird way to raise your children.
Dude.
But I think I've just never had time to think about it, so I'm thinking about it now, where I guess colonizers would gaslight our people into acting a certain way or like being a certain religion, right? So
Right.
having faced that type of communication definitely seeps into parenting, where they're like the same shit where, oh, if you're gonna do this, then that.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
It's always
Yeah.
a consequence.
Yeah.
If you don't wash your butt, you're going to hell.
So if you don't, every grain of rice
Oh yeah. Is actually day
is
in
like one day in hell.
Yeah,
Damn,
day in
dude.
purgatory.
Yeah.
Purgatory or hell? Which one? I
hell.
can live with one.
Will you, when you're undecided, you're in purgatory,
Oh, what if you're
and
undeclared?
then because you can't get when you're in purgatory, you can
You pick a
only
major.
you can go one way or it's undeclared.
Yeah.
If you're in hell, you're there.
You have to pick one way or
Unless
the
you go
highway.
unless you go to the Vatican and buy
Holy water.
a piece of paper that says you're out.
What? You have to buy that? They don't
Is
just
that
give it
real?
away?
It used to be. It used to be a thing. What is remittances? I think that's what it's called.
Oh yeah, like a remittance. Yeah. So yeah, you can see how the church would use it for personal gain.
Yeah, it's
For
crazy.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you want your mom to get out of hell, so you have to buy this remittance. And we're like, okay, she's fine.
Sure.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'll do it. I'll spend all my money to go over there.
What do you think? Okay, so that's like a systemic gaslighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
What modern ideas do you think are systemically gaslighting our people?
Oh, like colorism. I feel like is.
Yo, colorism is fucked up. Yeah, and it's so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
For those people who don't know what colorism is, what's colorism?
It's like somebody based off of how light or dark their skin is.
Okay, good. That's
It's
what I
like a
thought.
different value.
Yeah.
So generally, like a lighter skinned person is higher prioritized than somebody who's like a darker skin.
Like yo, colorism had a hot summer. Like everyone was talking about it for a minute, and I
Mhm.
think people are just. It's weird how they just move on to a new fight.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's cyclical. Like it
Yeah, it'll come back around.
It'll come back around.
It'll have its turn. It will be summer again.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know.
It's like a 4-year cycle. I
Yeah.
feel like when like
Oh shit!
people in the
Let's go. It's gaslighting season.
yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because like that's when I think of gaslighting is Pasco. Because
Really?
I remember what I think is gaslighting was when my uncle was downstairs at like midnight because he'd come home, or no, 2:00 in the morning because he'd come home late from work. He works the night shift. He'd come home. He'd have this was during Christmas Eve. He would come home and he'd have lugao. He'd be like watching TV and he'd be talking to someone, and I'd be upstairs in my room. And he'd be talking, and I never go down to look at who he's talking to. I'm like,
It's Santa.
it's Santa.
Santa Claus.
Dude.
It's Santa. And-
Yo, Filipino uncles would be doing shit like that though.
But that's the good gaslighting, though, right? If there is a good gaslighting, I think that shit is like awesome because it made me, it gave me a good.
As long
core
as they
memory.
didn't weaponize it.
It wasn't weaponized.
Okay, then yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
There is a thing. There's this very famous story where this kid was about that age that he wasn't gonna believe in Santa anymore. So he went to Disneyland and like they did the parade with Santa on it. So what his dad did was he wrote the kid's name. It was like fucking Kevin or something with
Michael.
an arrow down, right, and like pointed at the kid. And Santa on the mic is like, "Hi Kevin, Merry Christmas." And that's kind of gaslighting, but it's like really positive where he still believes in the fantasy for at least a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's harmful at all. I mean, I could be wrong also.
I could see ways that it can be,
Okay.
but
The intent wasn't.
and like how I
harmful.
took it wasn't.
Right.
Because like, we talked about it in the morning, and they're like, "Oh, did you hear Tito was talking to Santa?"
Santa
And I was
Claus.
like, "Oh yeah, I didn't want to look downstairs because then I would think that the magic's gonna go, like Santa will just disappear." And like,
Yeah.
I liked that idea of, "Oh, he's there, he's talking. I'm so jealous of Tito. He's talking to him. He's having arroz caldo and
Yeah.
lugao with him,
That's great.
and they're watching Girls Gone Wild on the TV."
Yeah, because it's 2 a.m.
Exactly.
I need a credit card. I need 3 easy payments. Do you remember being any like big gaslighting things as a kid? Whoa, what a trauma bond this
Yeah.
episode is.
Yeah, I told you the ant is bigger
Oh,
than
the
the
ant is
elephant.
bigger than
yeah.
the elephant.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. I think the way, like, dude, I honestly believed in Santa for like 2 summers or like two Christmases. Like,
you had the summer Santa.
Dang.
we got the motherfucker in the sando.
No wonder it's only 2.
Yeah.
Didn't
No,
line up.
no,
Didn't
no.
line up with the rest of the world. Oh yeah, here Santa in Hawaii.
Why are you early this year?
I have a lot of houses to go to.
Why is mine last?
Sorry, I'm late.
Because why you live in Carson? Tangin mo.
My sled broke down. I had to walk from the North Pole.
Yeah, I believe in Santa for like. I remember believing in Santa for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And then just like the year I saw my dad dress up as Santa, I'm like, he's not, like, cause like why would he hire my dad? Like the logic part got me.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
You're too smart.
I think the big one for me was, I'm gonna send you to the Philippines. It was always comparing our life with the life in the Philippines,
Okay.
right? Where it's like, oh, there's kids starving there, and I'm like, yes, but yes, but there's also kids starving here,
Right.
right? Or like, another big one is, I was very much led to believe if I didn't finish school, I would be homeless, like fucking homeless, right? Like, I would never have an opportunity to make money.
Yeah.
I guess I know where the intent is.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the execution necessarily.
Dude, it's crazy because that reminds me of like I had a cousin who, we went to college together, and he went to like be a nursing major, and it's like the school, there's like only 10 freshmen that get accepted into the nursing program. He got in as a freshman. He did like a semester, it was like fine, and then our sophomore year, he was like, actually, like he did all his nursing classes, and then kind of like already passed the ad drop date. He's like, actually, I don't want to be a nurse. And then, dude, there's this whole thing with like my tita was like so mad at him. He's like, how are you gonna be able to like support a family if you're not a nurse? And it's like me as like a musician.
You're just there, like,
and then like
I'm
my
good.
god sister was there too. She, like her as like a life coach, and we're like, are we not able to like support a family? But then like he has a career, his wife, a baby, like set, like super solid. But it was like that whole drama of like, how are you gonna be able to support a family if you're not a nurse? And it's like, dang.
So what do you think it stems from? Because I like hearing the stories. It's hard to put. Also, because we fucking love them, it's hard to put our family at fault.
Yeah,
Right?
because it's like
That's what they're taught.
they're the it's like scarcity mindset where these are like these were the things that they were told that were like promised would work. Where it's like, okay, this is a way that, okay, be a nurse, where we know this is going to be a safe way, this is a way to like support your family.
Yeah.
Anything outside of the sort of these prescribed safe careers or things that are going to be like for sure make money is dangerous or scary because it's kind of like so many unknowns. Right.
Yeah, I was thinking it in a different way, where not really the method of the actual gaslighting, but gaslighting itself as a method. It's like worded weird, but I don't know if it makes sense.
It's like it's like it's fear mongering because it's like
Yes, that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where it comes from colonization, and I mean,
it's like don't ask, just do this thing, don't ask questions because it's kind of like survival.
right, and it's kind of existed in a time where disobedience would get you killed.
Yeah.
Right.
But now that the stakes aren't as high,
Yeah. It's very low.
I don't think that's a very viable method
Anymore.
Because if I were to put myself in their feet,
In their
Whoa.
chinelas.
in their feet, if I was staring down colonizers telling me to do something and I had to tell my kids to do it, I wouldn't. That would be no discussion.
Yeah.
Be like, get the fuck in the house or you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There's no point of like, oh, let's have a good teachable moment.
Yeah.
It's let's survive this fucking thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But now the stakes aren't as high where like you can pursue your dreams and like you probably won't end up homeless if you figure it out. Like if you were raised to, shout out to the last episode, to like hustle, right? Also avoid burnout.
Right.
If you raise the burnout.
Right. But there are other ways to get to the goal you want.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just tough because it's so hard to break out of a systemic
Gaslighting.
behavior.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're basically gaslit to gaslight.
Right.
Which is such like I hate that we're like being really meta about it, but
Right.
it's the truth.
Yeah, because it's like it's maintaining a status quo to an extent. Like for example, it's like, you know, in churches, it's like give your tithes and offerings, but then these churches aren't using that help the poor people, or like there's there's lots of examples of churches like stockpiling money, hoarding resources, and not redistributing it to the rest of the community, while the community is like in poverty, but then like the clergy is just like living super lavishly and stuff.
I fucking drove by. I think it was a mega church where like the parking lot looked like a fucking stadium parking lot, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, there's lots of those.
And I didn't know. I've never seen one before.
Yeah.
Because my parish has always been like, well, when I went, was like always so small compared to this.
Yeah.
But like, fuck, man, it looks like Disneyland parking. And I'm like, there's some, like, the first immediate thought was, I'm driving to work at a day job I don't want to be at. I kind of want to be at.
Yeah.
But this parking lot there's something wrong systemically here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the world is like kind of messed up right now.
Yeah, dude.
It's
wild.
You know, how can we stop or prevent that behavior? Do you think there's time and a place to communicate that with the older generation, or like it starts with us?
Oh, there's actually, that also reminds me of like, have either of you brought up something that, like a traumatic event from your childhood to your parents, and they're like, that never happened? What? No.
I think
not my parents.
I think
Aunties-
I have-
aunties and uncles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I have brought it up, but that never happened is incorrect. They have like we've talked about it.
Owned up to it.
We've but it
That's
wasn't even
good.
that
That's
traumatic.
strong.
But
That's
it was just
good.
like
That's positive.
yeah.
I've definitely done that, but I think it was just me trying to get out of trouble when I was little.
Mm.
No, I didn't do that. Yeah, do you think? How do we stop the behavior? Is it?
From our parents, or just like onto the next generation?
Yeah, where does it start? Do you think? For sure, it has to involve us,
Yeah.
because you don't want to currently act that way. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Right.
When you can identify it, right? Because sometimes identifying it's the hard part.
Right.
But the parents thing, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree that it should start with us, but I also do see that like even within like my algorithm of TikTok and Instagram, you see a lot of the good communication happening between the parents of our age now, or our generation, and their what is it called?
Progeny?
Well, that's an expensive word.
Ah.
Their children, and like just all the transparency that's going on. Like, I think that kind of helps. And I think the type of gaslighting that I have experienced isn't really gaslighting, I guess, but it's more just like random teasing and shit that's not harmful. I still would like to keep that because that shit is fun sometimes.
The playful banter
Yeah.
is fun, yeah.
But like, and like, I kind of want to still introduce, my offspring, that's the word, to like the bad stuff that they'll encounter within the world. And like, if they hear it from me, or if they hear it from like my partner, at least like they'll be aware of what happens, and they'll know, or they'll get an experience of how to react to it if something happens.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because like I think also what you're saying, or at least what you're saying, reminds me of there's like a certain level of, it might not be like intentional gaslighting, but it's like when a kid has a question like, oh, why are things like this? It's like, oh no, just do it because I told you so, as opposed to like explaining why that's like something that we value, where it's like, oh, I don't want to do my homework. No, just do your homework because I told you so. As opposed to like, you need to do your homework so you can learn, and so you know how to be, be a contributing member of society, get school, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
That might, I don't know if you remember, we had this conversation about teaching, especially children, the world is black and white before they could learn that the world is gray.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Where we were talking about that?
Barely.
I think it was a Kumu episode or something.
I
It was like
remember talking about
early,
it. Yeah.
But I think that's a way, especially in terms of parenting,
Yeah.
you can like kind of use gaslighting. I don't
Yeah.
want to ever
It's
invoke using gaslighting as a method, but
this is kind of like broadening that term.
using it as like a stool almost to, I mean, fucking like algebra, right? We got to learn
Yeah.
that like math is numbers before we add letters to that shit.
Right.
Yeah, they need to see outside the window first that it's clear before it's tinted, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dang, initial D.
Here. Yeah, it's like heroes and villains,
Right.
right? They gotta learn there's good and bad before there's like, some people are like,
Before you introduce the Joker.
before you introduce government.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting.
Mhm.
All that shit.
Mhm.
Real quick before we end, we should name this section also, but we have a few
Oh, the
Rex never.
the recommend rec. What's what we call it?
Panderex.
Leave a comment if you have an idea for a name for the segment.
Our recommendation segment. Recommendation.
Recommendation.
Who's starting? You want me to start?
Yeah, you start this time.
Okay.
We also got to keep a running list of who we've recommended before.
Yeah, we'll do like a
Make sure you catch
like
it.
a Hall of Fame thing, a running list. It's gonna jump and unjump.
It's gonna baton.
I think my recommendation for this week and almost forever is like, yo, go check out our boy on TikTok, John Seuss.
Dang. Yeah.
JONSEUSS. He produces comedy Filipino American content. He's also a music producer, sound engineer. But he was on one of our podcasts. Great guy. We instantly hit it off. He's forever our pare for this pod.
Mm-hmm.
Just go check him out on TikTok and Instagram at It's John Seuss. You got one, EJ?
You go first. 'Cause I'm trying to find it. This guy's
Yeah,
name.
this is a more broad one. It's kind of World Cup season, so I'd say just go and support your local Philippines sports team. I think right now Gilas Filipinas is working.
What?
They're doing their job. They're
Yo.
trying to do their job.
By the time this episode releases, bro, real quick, shout out to the FIFA, was it World
The
Cup?
World Cup, yeah.
World Cup Philippines team.
Hell yeah, dude.
You had a lot of noise that one week, and we were so proud of you.
Dude.
I'm still very proud, even though you lost your second game.
Yeah, it's chill. But
No, but it's really monumentous that they made it.
it's so
to the
cool.
thing.
Exactly. It's so cool just like making noise and like no one, they're not going away. We better just keep making that noise.
Yeah.
But yeah, support them.
They had a hot week.
Dang.
Get me a jersey.
Oh, dang.
They're gonna do better next year.
Yeah.
Next year's their year.
There
Yeah.
it is.
2 years, I think, is the next one, but it's okay.
The World Cup's only every other year.
I think it's every other year or every 4 years. Because then, yeah.
Do you think after their huddle they go, okay,
Isang bagsak!
you have yours?
I don't. I was gonna recommend Kyle, the guy I mentioned earlier, but I don't remember his TikTok name.
Just save it. Pick something else.
I want to shout him out
Okay.
because I want everybody else to feel the same level of like nostalgia.
Sige.
I think I have. Because I've been
Oh,
saying
here. Okay, I found him.
Got it.
it just takes one else to look.
At KALLIZZLE. Kyle.
Calize?
Calizzle.
Calizo.
Calizzle.
AKA Kyle.
Also known as Supermanizzle.
Your content makes me feel things.
Calizzle.
Yeah.
Mostly shame.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's mad triggering.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's
It's
great.
also very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Very shareable, too. That's awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of shareable, I was gonna do one more. Dude, I forgot the word. Shit.
Shareable.
No, the prayer. The words of the.
You forgot the Lord's
No,
Prayer?
the end where the part the priest says.
Oh, in the coming
The
of
mass
God-
has ended. Love and peace, the love and serve the Lord and each other.
Is that how we're gonna end there? Our pod has ended. Go.
Go in
in
peace.
Thanks, be to pod.
Thanks be to pod.
Nice.
Speaking of shareable, please go on all the social media things, all the links We have a link tree type thing. It's called Beacons.
Big ones.
Beacons.
That's you put
Mabis Beacons.
Mama's big on t-shirt. I used to do that. Dude,
that's where
shout out to her.
That's where all our links and shit are. But also, just go on
Sausage links.
Spotify, Apple Pods, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. We're on there at pandesoul Podcast.
Shorts. I'm the only one wearing
It's gonna
shorts.
take a while.
Short
true.
socks.
But yeah, go on there. Do all the likes, subscribing, following, hit all the content.
There's a Filipino sun on my shorts.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Trying to put it in the camera.
There
See?
you go.
Wow. Wow. Very,
We don't know if that's gonna make the cut.
It won't.
very bright.
Yeah. But do all the internet things, hit all the buttons. Leave a comment. Let us know your gaslighting stories or like the funniest one. Though.
Yeah.
Let's know the funniest one.
Yeah. Or like, what is that? Duet this or the clip, the cut. If your Filipino American or Filipino diaspora experience of being gaslit by your parents.
Dang.
Ideally, something that's funny because we want folks to laugh.
We want to laugh
Yeah.
also.
But I'm also curious for the really
Yeah,
traumatic
that'd be
ones.
interesting.
Or if it's like traumatic and you can laugh about it,
Yeah.
cool.
And if you can't laugh about it, that's too bad.
But until next time, I'm the Dremagix.
I'm Fictitious Professor.
And I'm EJ William.
And as always,
Don't forget your button.
peace.
O sige na, Pandeez.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of pandesoul.
And check out previous episodes on Spotify and YouTube.
Thanks for laughing, and join us next week because there's enough pandesoul to go around.
And don't forget your baon!